Okay, I got something a little different for you today. I'm not going to rebuild this pump only because I've already done it. This is what we call a Type B. It's an AC Type B pump. You can tell it has this 3-screw cover held together by 6 screws. And let's say you've already done it. You've rebuilt it and it just won't pull any fuel. You can't get any, it's leaking. Somewhere in here it's leaking and you can't get the thing to stop, so it'll start pulling fuel. The first thing you want to check is obviously the 2 gaskets under here. Make sure these are tight, make sure the valves are seated tight, and if you test this side and it works fine but this side doesn't, one of the things you can check is remove the bail, remove the bowl, the gasket and the filter, put the bowl back on and see if it rocks like this one does. If it does, what's happened is over the years you kind of keep cranking down on this thing, change the gasket, crank it down a little bit, and what it's doing is it's pulling these 2 ears down, and it's actually bending the casting, making it so that it hits here and here, or it hits here and here, but not on the 2 sides, and you just can't get it to seal. So there's a number of ways you can rectify that. You can mix up some JB Weld and smear it all in here, put the bowl back on and let it kind of sit there and even out. It's one way of doing it. I don't like doing that. I'd rather repair this. Another way to fix it is to put on 2 gaskets. It might work, it won't. So what I've done is I've just got something that's flat piece of steel, put it in there, and you can see how that rocks back and forth. The gasket's just not going to fix it. Sometimes it's been bent so far that these 2 ears are even closer, and something that's normally, I think it's 2-inch, won't fit down in there. It actually hits, so I kind of ground the edges. Now I'll take this, put it down on a flat piece of steel, and let me see if I can spin you around and you can see what I'm going to do. Here's my flat piece of steel. I'm taking a vice grip that has one of these on both top and bottom, and I took the top one out, ground just a little notch in it. What I'm going to do is put that on here, catch the notch, and just give it a little bit of pressure. Get out your trusty Bernzomatic torch. Oh, and heat up where the bail goes, these 2 sides. Just keep the torch moving back and forth over it. You don't want to sit in one spot. If the torch gets hot enough, it'll melt that aluminum. So we want to get it good and warm. Just to keep moving it back and forth. Put a little bit more pressure on it. Let it sit. It'll do that. You can probably take about a half an hour and just keep heating it up. A little bit more pressure, very tiny. A little bit more pressure. You don't want to go too much or you'll end up breaking this. You crush this in the center. We don't want to do that. But if you do it enough, it'll flatten it out, and then the bowl will sit nice and flat. And I'm gonna do this a few more times, and I'll come back. Well, it's been an hour actually. But I think we might have got it. Heating and cooling and heating and cooling. And the result is still moves a little bit, but nowhere near as much as it did before. And we can take out what's there with the gasket. Okay, that did it. It's all nice and tight now. So, if you happen to have one of these type of pumps, or any type of pump for that matter, but these are more susceptible to it than anything. These little type B's, you can do it with a type D, which is 10 screws. Still has that 3-screw cover, but it's a little bit longer. Anything that has the bowl hanging off the end like this, with the bail holding these two sides. If you find that you can't make it seal right, or once you get everything off and you take the bowl and put the bowl on by itself and it rocks quite a bit, you have to flatten it out. So, that's the lesson for today. We'll come back with something else in a little while. Thanks for watching. Hit the little notification bell, and like and subscribe. Thanks.